Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this makeup look here. Today I had used quite a number of palettes. So I basically had in my head that I was wanting to do a look that was somewhat different to what I've done before, but I also wanted to make it quite wearable as well. If you want to know how I got this a makeup look, then just keep on watching. Why do I always look super crazy with no makeup on but my eyebrows? So the first thing I'm going to take is the Helen É Eyeshadow Powder Base. I have literally just woken up, so in case I sound just a wee bit scratchy, that is why. And like, what time is it? 20 to 1. I'm so lazy. I barely have any of this stuff left and I'm so depressed about it because this wee thing is not cheap for like all the sides of it. I think it's like £10 or something. So I'm just going to use that just to carve out my eyebrows, and I'm just going to drag it down onto just the base of my eyelids. Okay, so I'm just taking this wee fluffy brush just to tap off the excess, just so it's not as tacky. I actually don't know if I want to set my eyelids today or not. So this is the Makeup Addiction Cosmetics palette in Flamin' Love. I really want to use this shade today, but I'm kind of wanting to incorporate it in with like a green, if that sounds disgusting or not. So I obviously got my favourite eyeshadow palette out. This is the Anastasia Subculture, and the green shades in this palette are just absolutely beautiful, to be honest. So then I have the Jaclyn palette as well. So I think I'm going to go in with maybe this one. My Jaclyn palette didn't come with the sheet of names, so I apologise for that. And I'm just going to take that on a dirty brush. Okay, so I'm wanting this eye look to be quite smoky, so I'm using quite a big brush for my transition shade, and I'm just going to be quite rough with the blending of my transition shade. I'm not being very precise, keeping it within my crease. I am going to keep it also within my crease, but I'm just going to keep on buffing it right up to my brow bone. Like, as you can see, I'm blending it within my crease, but I'm then going back in and I'm doing circular motions, and that's going to buff it up into my brow bone, and it's just going to make it all just seamless and just buffed out. How many times can I say buffed? This is actually a reason why I didn't film like all last week, by the way. Well, apart from Monday. My skin at the minute, oh my god, like spot, 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 spot. You could literally play a game of dot to dot with my face. And like, you might be looking at my skin and thinking, well, what spots? Like, they have gone away, but they're still like there, if you know what I mean. Or like, I don't have bad skin, I have fantastic skin, and I just do not know what the problem is. I have been using this foundation recently and I'm kind of hoping that it is this foundation, so then I know why my skin is breaking out at the minute. Let me know, has anybody else broke out or known of anybody to break out when using this foundation? So I think I'm wanting to... What the hell? I think I'm just going to keep the eye look smoky, but I also want to keep it quite sharp at the edges. So I'm just going to use the shadow shields. I'm just going to go into this shade here. This shade is just like a very, very dark emerald green. I'm just going to pack this shade just on the outer corner, just to start smoking and darkening up that outer area. And then I'm just going to grab just a clean blend brush. Just gonna take the excess off, and I'm just going to start blending that. Is there a shimmer in that? Oh no, there was a shimmer on this brush. For flip's sake. Okay, so I'm gonna take a dirty one. For goodness sake, that's now all glittery. So I'm just gonna pack on that shade from the Jaclyn palette again, and I'm just gonna start blending that. And then I'm going to go into Access from the Subculture palette. I'm just going to take this the tiniest wee bit of that. We all know how this palette is. And I'm just going to run that just on my crease. Okay, so I'm just going to take that wee flat brush again that I used to start off with, and I'm just going to bring that shade from the Subculture palette just to the inner corner, but I'm not wanting to use that on a fluffy brush because I don't want it to be too crazy. I'm basically just using this smaller brush so I can actually control where I'm placing the product more. Oh, I'm so hungry. So I'm just going to use the Zoeva 230 Luxe pencil brush. I'm just going to go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm just going to take the shade from my transition and I'm just going to use that to just kind of buff out the edges. This scares me so much. And I just have a clean brush as well, just to kind of help me with just blending. Okay, so it kind of turns out that I'm just actually just going to use this clean blending brush to just do everything. So to cut my crease, I'm just going to use the eyeshadow prime and base that I used. I'm just going to take that just on the same brush, and I'm just going to take it just like on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to kind of like pat at that just to lift off the excess product because I don't want it to be too sticky or too tacky. So this is the Makeup Addiction palette in Flame and Love, and I'm just going to go into this bright gold shade here, and this is in the shade Goldilocks. I thought that said something else there. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking to myself, I've left this part here bare, so I think I'm actually just going to go on with another shade in there. So either the shade Slate Green from the Meadow Makeup Addiction palette, and that's it there, or going into the Jaclyn Hill palette. There's like a green glitter. I think I'm just going to go for that one. Kind of using that green to just overlap that gold, just so it's just more gradient and not just like a solid line. So I'm just going to go into that gold shade again, and I'm just going to pop it just... I'm going to put something else in the inner corner, but I'm just going to bring this right in just for now. I just want to make this really intense, and I'm just going to overlap that shade. And I'm going to go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette and use this green shade here, just on a flat packing brush. Pardon me. And I'm just going to start packing that on, just on the outer corner. Oh, I love it! I really like that. Take my little eBay special brush, kind of tap off the excess on my finger. So I'm just really lightly going on and blending that shade out. Like, I'm barely touching my eye here, but I'm just kind of going in and like kind of like tickling it. Look how crisp that is. I love it. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just going to go off camera now and finish off my other eye. So now that my eyes and my base are pretty much done, I'm just going to do my lips and just get them out of the way. So this is the Primark lip liner in the shade Toffee. So then for liquid lipstick, I'm just going to use the Makeup Addiction Cosmetics liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Bare Faced. Just take one last drink before I put it on. For liquid liner, I'm just going to use the NYX matte liquid liner. This is the one I always use. But I'm not going to do a wing. No, I'm not going to do a wing. I'm just going to keep it just pretty simple. But I really do want to actually put something in my inner corner. I think I might actually drag down this shade here, or I might actually go back into the Meadow palette. Now, you see, that's far too dark. If you know what I mean, it's more of like a bronze. So I might actually go back into that palette again and just use this shade. I'm actually getting quite a bit of fallout, so I'm just kind of dusting that away. I'm gonna go back into the Subculture palette, and I hit pan on my favourite shade. Bye. I'm just going to go into Access and using this wee small smudger brush, and I'm just going to do my lower lash line. I'm just going to slightly smudge this a wee bit. I'm scared. God, how did we get here? My eyes are so dark. Okay, so now for lashes, I'm just going to use 2 lashes as per usual. These are actually in the style Vanity. I've never actually used these before. I actually bought these myself. Like, I obviously get sent PR from this company, but I only have like one of like each lash. So because I've had them for quite some time, I did go on and do like a big massive like order of like all my favourite lashes. And I did get these pair here. So as I was saying, these are in the style Vanity. Before I put my lashes on, I always just like to put on my mascara first. So this is the deck of Scarlet mascara. I actually got this in PR, but it was actually in the Belle Jordan collaboration she had with Deck of Scarlet. So I don't mind it for my top lashes, like it does the job, but it's not like, it doesn't blow my wee socks off, you know. But I do actually like it for my lower lash line. I always like a really good mascara for my lower lashes. Although my favourite one at the minute is a Chanel one. Of course it has to be a Chanel one. Like, I hate it whenever you get really expensive samples of something and like you want to like it obviously, but at the same time you're like, I really hope I do not like this, so then I don't have to go out and buy the full thing. Oh no. What a freak. It really sucks how on camera I cannot tell if my face is a completely different colour to my chest because I have no fake tan on at all. But I really went like quite easy on the bronzer today, and I wore the lightest foundation that I have. Okay everybody, so this is the completed makeup look. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I will have down in the description box below all the products that I used today to create this makeup look. But don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Twitter and Instagram, the usual. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next video.